All right. Well, thanks for joining me today, Tanner. I'm Liz Kroft with Soul Property Advisors, and I've got Tanner Tedsen here with Farmers Insurance. Asked him to join me to chat a little bit more about insurance in a way that most people don't really kind of know about and talk about. It's usually homeowners insurance, but let's chat about renters insurance today.
Totally. I appreciate you having me today. It's great to see you. And it's always an awesome opportunity just to be able to talk about the different products we have available and just how we can help people avoid the claim if something does happen to them, that they have the coverage they really need.
Yeah, absolutely. So, who needs renters insurance and what kinds of things does it cover?
So if you are renting a home, an apartment, even a mobile home, you should definitely have a renter's insurance policy. There's really basic coverages on them. Your main ones are going to be personal property coverage. So this is going to cover all of your belongings. And with farmers, they actually cover your belongings globally. So if you're traveling and you have a bunch of, say you're going on a ski trip and you have a bunch of ski gear with you, and it's stolen in your travels, that can be covered through your renter's insurance. Personal property is also covered if it's in your car. So if your car is broken into, you have coverage for that. So that's the kind of most immediate coverage I think that people think about when they say, oh, I want a policy, I want to make sure my stuff's protected. But in addition to that, there's some amazing coverages that if you need them, they really, really help. The biggest one for that would be loss of use coverage. So loss of use is a coverage that will pay for rents or for a hotel if you're not able to live in your home or your unit for a certain period of time. We just had a client who owns an apartment building in Santa Cruz here, and there was a kitchen fire. So it's looking like a few of the tenants are going to have to move out for an extended period of time. If they have a renter's policy, then they can use that loss of use coverage to pay for rents while their home's getting repaired.
Got it. So that's something, the property owner, their insurance wouldn't necessarily cover that for the tenants. Is that right?
Correct. So typically, we'll just use this example of this apartment building. We are covering the building itself, and then we're covering liability on the landlord or the owner's behalf. So if someone's injured on the property or anything like that, they have coverage. But it's on the tenants to have renter's insurance in order to cover their belongings, to cover the loss of use coverage we just talked about, and then probably the most important one of all is liability coverage. So we can write up to $500,000 on a renter's policy and liability, and that covers you if you're at fault for something. So this case that we're talking about with the apartment building, it's still unclear, but if it's found out that it was the tenant's fault for the fire, that they were the cause of the fire, then they're on the hook for all of those repairs. So, for having a renter's policy that can cover you up to $500,000 versus paying out of pocket for something like that, it's a drastic difference.
Right. So let's say this is maybe an apartment, a 2-bedroom apartment for a family of, 2 to 4. What does the annual policy like that cost on average? Kind of what's the general range?
Totally. So renters policies are our most affordable policy out there. If you kind of go bare bones coverage, it can be as low as 160 to 180 per year. And then if you want to beef up the coverages, you have more personal property than the typical person. It can be, about 200 to 250. I have rarely see a renter's policy over $300 per year.
Wow. That's pretty good for what you get, that peace of mind. And, I've definitely been traveling before where I've been overseas and had a camera stolen, things like that. And my policy with you guys definitely covered it. You never know until it happens.
Exactly. You never know until it happens, and you hate paying that bill unless something happens. But if something like a fire does happen, and you were paying $20 a month for your renter's policy to find out you have $500,000 of coverage, it's worth that peace of mind. Trust me.
Absolutely. Yeah. And something we're seeing, with our property owners on the property management side and just kind of across the board is landlords are requiring that their tenants have that renter's insurance just to help provide coverage and they'll give a little bit of an incentive on rent, which is great.
So. Yeah, and it gives everyone the peace of mind that things are gonna be okay. It's you're living on the edge a little bit, so to speak, if you go into a rental without having a policy, especially when it's pretty painless. It's less than a small pizza these days per month to get a policy. So it's definitely worth worth it for the renters and also for the landlord, just to know that everyone is going to be okay if something happens.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks for the info on that. That's an important one, and one that not many people know that they can get, and what it covers. So if people wanted to reach you and have some more questions answered, or maybe chat about renter's policy or anything else, how do they get a hold of you?
So probably the easiest way, if you're watching this video, you can scan that QR code up in the top of my screen. That'll take you directly to my Calendly link, which will allow you to select a time for us to have a phone call, a Zoom call. Hopefully one of these days soon we can meet in person again more comfortably. But yeah, that's probably the easiest way. And then my cell phone, which I can be reached anytime, is 831-234-4444. It's the easiest number out there. I'm never getting rid of it. So feel free to contact me either way.
Right on. Well, thanks so much, Tanner. For those of you watching online, give us a like, give us a subscribe. We'll be doing a lot more of these videos, and hopefully having Tanner back to talk more about insurance.
Awesome.
All
Thanks so
right.
much.
Have a good one. Thanks.